Yes, sir. We are focusing on our psychological health, and of course, when it comes to that, there are very many different styles of therapy available these days. But we'd like to take a moment to focus on one that is growing in popularity in the world right now and ask the question, does it really work?
Yes, we're asking this renowned hypnotherapist, or I should say psychotherapist. Terence Watts is the principal of the Institute of BrainWorking Recursive Therapy, a new treatment that hopes to permanently change the face of psychotherapy. He's joining us in our studio this morning. Terence, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start off, Terence, by trying to define the difference between hypnotherapy and psychotherapy.
Yes, hypnotherapy, the client usually has their eyes closed and in a kind of trance state, so they're not actually speaking, not interacting very much. They're just waiting and hoping that something good will happen. With psychotherapy, it's much more interactive. The client is totally conscious and working with their eyes open.
How does it work? Because I know that it's not hypnotherapy. How does it work?
BWRT works by getting to the part of the brain which sees patterns and stimuli coming in from life, something that would normally react very badly to or uncomfortably to. And we actually get to the part of the brain which controls our emotions before the emotions start. So before anybody feels the fear, it's dissolved.
So let's quickly just take a step back quickly. We're talking about BRT, as you said, the brain-working recursive therapy, which is what you specialize in, the treatment that you specialize in. It differs from traditional psychotherapy in that it doesn't require the patient to relive a certain or uncover that part that is causing that kind of trauma psychologically. So exactly what can one expect when you go to one of the treatments?
For a session of BWRT, all the therapist needs to know is what is causing a problem for the client. They don't even have to tell us exactly what the problem is, as long as we know the sort of area they're working in. And as long as they can say how they would like to feel instead, then we can do the job. That's all it takes.
I'm trying to get to it in practical terms. I mean, some of our matrics are writing exams at the moment and everyone's thinking how stressed they might be. Is this something that could help them?
Oh, absolutely. Exam fears dissolve almost instantaneously, sometimes within about 1 minute. That fast.
1 minute?
That fast.
Well, that's incredible.
That is incredible.
It's a process we use called the emergency stop, and it stops fears, anxieties, panic attacks absolutely in their tracks.
So when you say the therapist only needs to know what the patient is going through, and then for the treatment then to start. So if, for instance, it would be like me coming to you saying that when I stand in front of a crowd and I've got to speak, I get nervous, for instance.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know, and then within a very short space of time.
And I'd then be asking you how you would like to feel. And if you said, well, I'd like to feel totally confident, I would probably ask you if you've had a time that you can remember when you felt totally confident. And we would simply replace the anxious feeling with the totally confident feeling.
I love this, I really do. How would someone go about if they would like to take part in psychotherapy? So if you're looking for a psychotherapist?
For BWRT particularly, they could go to the website, which is www.bwrt.org, or they could go to the Facebook group, which is on there. Currently, I don't think it'll be in the telephone directories very much, but they can certainly find it on the internet. And in fact, if anybody's supposed to type BWRT in the internet, they'll find it.
How did you come up with BWRT?
Almost accidentally. I'd been studying for years, trying to work out how to get people to be able to resolve problems without having to relive the difficulties. That's the way that I always used to work. And whilst it was effective, it would sometimes take 12 and 13 and 14 sessions. And I was always looking for something which would go faster. And I was reading about a man called Benjamin Libet, who discovered that we don't actually have free will in the way that we think we do. I'd read about him many times. But this particular day, something I'd been researching earlier just gelled, and I suddenly had this explosion of an idea, and I immediately started working on it, and instantly discovered it was good, but I thought it was too good to be true. And as everybody knows, something seems too good to be true, it usually is. This is the exception. It seems too good to be true, but it is true.
Wow. And
when I finally got it working, it was a year before I dared to teach it. And in that year, I spoke to Rafiq Lokhat, who was one of the first students of it, who was instantly blown away by it. And in fact, it's largely the partnership between me and Rafiq, which has actually produced BWRT as it stands now. You can do almost anything with it. Wow. Almost anything that slower methods say can be done with BWRT.
Incredible. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Terence. My eyes are opened. I am not scared anymore. No. Never. Listen, do you believe in psychotherapy? Do you believe in hypnotherapy, the effect that it has on problems? Well, let us know on our Facebook pages.
Indeed. Use that hashtag Expresso Show.